Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kingdon Radio Hour podcast. My name is Angel, better known as Tumblr user TV Gremlin, and today I'm joined by a very special guest who most of you are probably a fan of, Audrey. Say hi, Audrey.
Hi.
And can you remind us all of your username while you're here so we can all go
Uh,
follow you?
yeah, on Tumblr it's Audrey Voila X, and then everywhere else is just my name, so Audreyestok.
Sick. All right, we're so happy to have you here. For like a while, I've wanted you on the pod because I'm a very big fan of your art.
Yeah, I was excited when you messaged me about it. It's really cool to have a podcast that's something like so specifically niche to what I'm into right now.
Yeah, I know, right? It's funny because I've like definitely like told people in my real life that I have a podcast and they're like, "What's it about?" And I just go, "The Pit." And they're like, "Oh, that's kind of niche." And I'm like, "You actually have no idea. You have no idea
It's
how deep
way
this
more
thing
niche than
goes."
that, actually.
It's way more niche than you think it is. Yeah, I spoke at an event yesterday and they were like, "Hey, do you have anything you want to plug?" And I was like, "No, I don't.
Not at this
Don't tell
moment,
me that.
no.
Not this moment." All right. I have some questions for you before we start or as
Okay,
we
awesome.
start. How did you get into Kingdon slash why Kingdon?
I don't even know really. It like didn't click for me until probably midway through season 2. I was like really deep into wedding planning at the time.
Real?
And I got married like 3 weeks ago, so it's like
Oh,
I
congratulations!
was
That's so exciting.
definitely misplacing some of my stress into like fan work.
Yeah,
Uh,
don't we
so
all?
that helped, but Kingdon specifically, I don't know, it just like came to me one day. I think it was probably actually a lot of the fan art I was seeing on Tumblr. A lot of my like people I'd been following for a long time for other fandom stuff started posting, and I was like, oh, I think I see the vision.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's how a lot of people get into it, at least if they're in multi-fandom. I did a lot of stuff for The Bear, and then I also was
Oh,
really
I
into
love the bear.
Succession. Oh, don't get me started. But I like I wanted like a bonus episode about the Sid Carmie Kingdon parallels because they're very similar.
Yeah, I just sent a
Um,
thing on the Discord about Ted Lasso and Sid Carmie and Kingdon all
yeah.
like
Should we have a
falling under
platonic
the.
party? Should we
Yeah,
invite
right.
Taylor Durden and Patrick Ball? Yep. Um, no, and then also famously, I don't think they're gonna go canon because I was a Sid Carmie, and so I've had people like try to convince me, and I'm like, you're never gonna do it. You're not gonna convince me. I've been burned too many times, but yeah, that's definitely been something I've noticed is like even or I call them like my fandoms in law. Like if like all of your mutuals are into a show, but like you're not into it.
Yeah,
Like I've never seen Project Hail Mary, and I don't like space because it scares me, so I'm not gonna watch it. But I know a lot about Ryland Grace because I've seen all the fan art and I've seen all
that
the
makes sense.
edits and I've seen all the things.
Yeah, I'm like
Or
an
like,
OG Raylo Star Wars fandom.
yes.
So like all of my Raylo friends are now into different fandoms that I have no clue about, but
Yeah.
cool to see them moving on and doing different stuff.
How long have you been in fandom, like in general?
Like half my life because I'm 31. Probably started really getting into fandom like embarrassingly Harry Potter when I was like 13, you know?
Oh, same, same, same.
uh,
Yeah, same.
and then I took kind of a break from it maybe a little bit during college, and then I got like very much into Star Wars for a while. Um, and then it was, you know, balls to the wall fandom all the time.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
mean, I think Raylo especially, I have a lot of respect for you guys because while I was never in it, I feel like you built a lot of the houses we occupy, if that makes any sense. Like the trad pub publishing of it all, the
Yeah.
like being exposed, the getting a lot of hate really publicly and like being really exposed, but also the groups in general, like from what I've peered into just kind of as like a fandom history nerd of like looking into Raylo, it seems like it was like a very robust community, very similar to Kingdon
Yeah.
and like
It's
other
really
things
crazy.
I
A lot of
like.
moving into like, I do a lot of trad publishing, like book covers. So
Yeah,
like a lot of the connections I have now for that came from Raylo. So it's like,
that's incredible.
it's really
Damn.
cool.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of the
Yeah.
people I knew early on in those early Raylo fandom days, it was like they became real authors, they became real illustrators, and then now we all work together professionally.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Goals. Yeah, I spent some time in Germany fandom when like at my senior year of high school, just lonely and online. And it's interesting to see like I like go to like book events now for fanfic authors I used to read and I'm like that's fucking crazy. Like
Right.
also goals because it's I don't know, it's cool. That's also where the pod this pod was inspired by a bear podcast
Hmm.
that I was on forever ago, and then there's a Hermione podcast called, I think, The Hermione Effect, and
Oh, cool.
they inspired this. It's a very fun pod to listen to. Yeah. Oh, I also wanted to say about Harry Potter, I have a very similar story of I got a tablet when I was 10, and the first thing I Googled was Ron and Hermione, and then I found fanfic through that, and I was like, oh, this is incredible, and it's been downhill since then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, even before it was like shipping for me, it was like just reading Harry Potter stories that had no, ships or anything.
Yeah.
Wanted
That like
more of it.
that very specific magic of like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I can have more of this. I can be in control of it, or even like just like scrawling it down in a notebook. I remember being like, well, what if they did this, or what if they did that? It's the human urge to story tell. How long have you been like an illustrator, like drawing wise? I mean, I imagine you've been doing it for a lot of your life, but
Yeah,
or
I've been making
professionally.
fan art since as long as I've been in fandom, really. But I pretty much went to college so I could like professionally make fan art, I guess, because I went to art school as an illustration major.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's cool because now I work for like an agency that does marketing for things that I'm actually like a fan of. So a lot of like my movie posters and stuff are, officially licensed work, but
Yeah.
it feels like getting to make fan art for a living, which is really cool.
Yeah. Well, you sent that incredible Star Wars piece in the Discord, and I was like, wow, it's so impressive because you're very talented, and I think that that's why, at least in other people I've talked to before we got to talk with you in the Discord and stuff, being fans of you. Like I know Allison of Allison After Dark and I would send back your art and forth and be like, this is so beautiful. Everyone who comes in the pod, I'm a big fan of. I just get to fangirl on my little thing.
Right.
But yeah, I swear, like, I think, like, I had the one of them watching the fireworks where she's pregnant. That was, like, my phone background for a hot minute because I love it so much. It's, like, my favorite. But that's just so cool. Is there
Yeah.
any project that was, like, your favorite to work on where you were like, pinch me, I can't believe I get to do this?
Well, just recently, the Star Wars poster I did for The Mandalorian and Grogu was really cool because that was the first, like, officially licensed piece of Star Wars anything I've done.
Yeah.
I've been working for this agency for, like, 4 years now, and, like, they always do work with Star Wars. I just have never gotten to one of the projects. So when I finally got the email, I was like, oh my God, it's really happening.
Oh my God. Yeah, like, I got accepted. I'm so excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have, like, a fave piece specifically for Kingdon that you've ever done?
Oh boy. I
like
think
asking you to pick a favorite kid.
Yeah, kind of. But I think the ER Barbie one is probably my favorite. The comic where she like comes in with the big ponytail and the sparkly
Yeah, that was the first piece I saw of yours, and I was like, damn, because I mean, obviously ER Ken is so iconic now, thank you, Dr. Garcia, but her coming in the little pink outfit, and I just love how lovesick he is in that comic. I love how you're like, oh, poor Frank.
I tend to draw him very much like that all the time. That's how I see him.
He's a little pathetic. That's like part of him. That's like kind of the whole thing. I've been rewatching the episodes before I go to work in the morning as like my little treat, and I'm always like, oh, he's just like that.
Yeah.
I
think probably one of the reasons I like Kingdon so much is like when I look at all the ships that I've ever been, there's always one of them is like a real yearner,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that much. All I know about Raylo is from like fic and edits, but I do know that Kyla's a little pathetic for her. Just a little yearner,
and like
she's very in charge.
Her, even if in canon maybe he doesn't actually like her until the end, but like he's definitely weird about her.
He's professionally weird about her, and I feel like that's kind of, or like for me with Sid Carmi, I love a dynamic where the woman is like, she doesn't need him, but her life is definitely a little sad and like hard, and she's like a little girl failure. Like for Sid, it's like she's in debt and doesn't really have anybody in her corner, and then for Mel, it's that she's been a sole caregiver for her sister for most of her life and doesn't have anyone in her corner and is also in debt.
It all comes back to Pride and Prejudice if you really think about it.
It does. Yes, it does. Oh my God, yeah. Like she needs somebody, but it doesn't necessarily have to be him. And he's like, I will die for you. I mean,
he's like maybe a little poor and down on her luck, but there's like this guy that could maybe help who also happens to like be weird about her.
He's again, Darcy professionally weird about Elizabeth, especially in the 2005 Pride and Prejudice, my favorite movie.
I actually have a copy of it, like literally directly in front of me.
Oh my God, hang on here. I'll turn my camera back on. I'm
Oh.
sitting underneath a poster of it. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Darcy is so weird about her. It's so important to me. I also makes me think of obviously the iconic fireworks scene. Him walking out to her is so the long walk across the thing
Yes, yeah,
of like, I'm gonna come get
absolutely.
you. Oh my God. That gets me into my, I have another question, which is like, do you have a favorite Kingdon moment? Do you have one that just like rattles around in your head?
Ooh, probably the part I love when they're sitting on the floor with the dog,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
And then very specifically in that moment when he's like telling her to like go pick out all the gravel out of the guy's wound.
Yeah.
Love that
And she gets so
part.
excited. Oh my God, I
Like it's
love
so
that.
specific. Like he already knows that she's gonna be excited about that. Which is
Yeah,
like, how do you know that?
he
You don't
guessed
even
it too.
know.
No, no, literally. For me, it is the Crike scene. The Crike scene is my favorite
Hmm.
scene of them in all. Like, I lose my mind every time I watch it. But, like, I also just, working in healthcare, every single time he does something that, like, if a coworker did it for me, I'd be like, let's get married. Him knowing her glove size right away, oh my God. And then him being so excited
Yeah.
to jump on cases with her
Hmm.
because there are, like, some couples at my hospital and it's like very much like a sweet like if someone's getting PPE for someone else, it's like, "Aw, you're really going out of your way. How sweet." And it's like either like, "Oh, they must be besties," or there might be something going on. So whenever he does that on the first day, I'm like, "Frank Langdon, what?"
Well,
And
it always
then
makes me
I
think like stuff that happens like in they have like the specialists who are on set like telling them how things work in real hospitals.
yeah.
Like who on the set was like, have him get her gloves for her, like
Yeah. No,
you know.
literally, because it's like it's was it in he does it for the STEMI and he does it for the little kid. And
Hmm.
I was just like, what? I also am very partial to the moments that like aren't really that buzzy, but I'm obsessed with. Like,
Yeah.
I obviously love where he treats her, so important to me, but like I love when they treat the kid with the heat exhaustion. For whatever reason, them being so close together is so important to me because she's like leaning over his body like repeatedly to pull stuff and they're
Yes.
like their arms are touching and I'm just like they're married there. I don't know if you know that, but they're legally wed in that
Yeah.
scene.
I love like the just they don't know they're dating yet, but or like they don't know they're actually married vibes.
No, no, literally. Like Al Hashimi and Robbie are found divorced and like they're not found family, they're found divorced. Those people
Yes.
are divorced. And Mel and Langdon are like found marriage. Like, uh-oh. I'm obsessed with the idea of like all the fics where they're like, you guys are dating. And she's like, we're not dating. And she's sad about it and he's sad about it, but everyone's like, you're just dating. We know you're dating. And they're like, no,
Yeah.
we're not. And then when they do start dating, they're like, yeah, we knew. It's like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Totally, I get that.
Absolutely.
My God. Okay. I also want to ask you about your fanfic because I love your fanfic. Do you like how long have you been writing fanfic? Is this like does this go in tandem with your fan art? Is it just like a side
Yeah,
quest?
it kind of goes in tandem with the fan art, I would say, first and foremost. Sometimes I have ideas where I'm just like, I should figure out a way to draw this, but I can't, so I have to write it.
Yeah.
But I was a
Yeah.
creative writing minor in school, so I
Oh, cool.
did a lot of like that kind of, more like artsy fartsy writing. And then I didn't really write fanfic for a long time. I've never written any Raylo fanfic. I've never written anything for anything else, really. I did some Walking Dead fan fiction and pretty
Yeah.
much just Kingdon stuff. I don't know why. It's like something clicked. I was like, I have to start writing.
No, I get that. I totally get that. I was a fanfic author first, which is interesting because this is the first fandom where I haven't been known as a fanfic writer.
Uh-huh.
That was like my entire MO. I wrote when I was 14 years old. I lied about my age on an Office fan forum. Uh, shout out.
You were telling me about that. That's so funny.
It's so funny. Yeah, I remember you being like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah. There's a website called morethan.net that was also founded like a month before I was born. And it was founded because it was like the fangirls at the time who were all like in like their mid 20s were obsessed with Jim and Pam. And the episode where they kiss aired, and then they didn't know for a whole summer. So they started a website to like write fanfic for it. And it's incredible. And it's like a well of like just truly incredible work that like no one's really reading because it's like kind of sequestered, but it's so good. And
Yeah,
so
and
I
it
wrote for that.
goes to show how good the art comes out of like a hiatus. That's like
Yes,
the in
exactly.
between
Yeah.
seasons, the in between movies. That is like the golden spot for fan work. It's
I
always the
feel like I feel like I haven't been a part of a fandom ever where it's June now, so we're fully a month after the finale has aired, and there is still, like, we're smaller, but the fervor is still there. They're still posting Kingdon Nation every day. The Discord is still active. Fanfic is still getting updated. We're doing events. Like, there's still so much energy of, like, I have to keep talking about these doctors who are so weird about each other.
Well, that's like
And
Raylo. It was like, so the Last Jedi came out, which is the second movie in the sequel trilogy.
yeah.
And then there was 2 years of like incredible fan work coming out. Some of all the like stuff that ended up being published is like real books all came out in that time period. And then The Rise of Skywalker came out, and everyone was like, oh. I think we're done with it now.
That reminds me a lot of The Bear, where like all of the foundational Bear fanfics came out after season 2, and then season 3 came out, and everyone was like, oh, okay. And then season 4 came out, and it was so bad that I and several of my fandom friends, many of which have left the fandom, and like made statements about that, had to like make posts being like, we're still gonna make content, guys. It doesn't just because the show's bad doesn't mean we'll. And now season 5's coming out, and like no one cares.
Yeah.
And
there's a certain kind of sadness when you realize you're like drifting away from a little bit of a fandom that you were very involved with. And
it kind of reminds me of like graduating high school almost, where you're like, I've outgrown you, I have to say goodbye, but I'll miss you. And like you sometimes you stay in contact with a few people, and maybe you'll meet up again later in life. Like, oh, we both happen to like this show. Like,
I'll still think about you, but
yeah. Or like sometimes you'll get nostalgic, and you'll be like, God, I wonder if that blog is still posting, and you'll go and like, oh, they've changed, or they're posting, but they're only getting like 4 notes, and you're like, wow, remember when this was like it feels like walking in like the ruins of an abandoned city. You're like, oh, this used to be so populated with all my friends, now they're all gone.
Definitely. I got really nostalgic for some reason like a week ago, and I looked up an artist who I was like obsessed with when I was like in probably middle school that did Harry Potter fan art. And like she's still posting, not Harry Potter stuff, but like she's still posting out there, and like she must have been my age when I was, in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's still out there. It's cool to see her. It's always cool to like run back into someone you idolized.
Yeah, like there are some like pretty big Succession fan accounts I still follow on Instagram, and whenever they post, I'm like, God, I love you guys. I missed you.
I love Succession, but I've never gotten into the fandom of it all. I'm unfamiliar with the fandom side of that, but I love the show.
It's a great show. It has the fandom is really fascinating because it never got that big because, and I say this with my whole chest, Succession was too good. There wasn't enough wiggle room to like shows like Supernatural or Stranger Things where there's like a lot of interesting lore, and then it's also just bad enough that you kind of need to go in and fix it. That those can sustain really large fandoms, in my opinion. Same thing with like Star Wars, where there's like all that interesting lore, and like they fuck it up a little sometimes. And then same thing with The Pit, where it's like we only see them for one day, but the characters are so complex that you want to write the rest of their lives and their backstories. Exactly. And also everyone in The Pit is having a sad backstory off, so you can like do whatever you want with that.
They're all with Succession, in the torture nexus.
Literally, with Succession, they had all that interesting lore of like before Waystar and like Logan's life, and like all these characters were so rich that you wanted to write about them. And also it's really fun to write fan fiction about them because they talk like the way they talk is so specific.
I can't even imagine trying to like do dialogue for fanfic for that. Like they're so smart, I feel like I'm not smart enough. I would be way out of my element.
I've written a lot of Succession fanfic, and I can tell you that some of the hardest times I've ever had was trying to write an inner monologue for Roman Roy. I was like, how do I do this? How do I approach this? And I'm happy with what I did, but it was like 1,000 words, and I was like, this is all I have. This is all I can do. Because you can kind of like do like an impression of him for 2 minutes before you lose it because he's so specific. But it was interesting because the fandom would completely die when the show wasn't airing, and then the show would air, and then it would be popular on Twitter, and people would make fan art and talk about it, and like it was a lot of like the Hannibal people, so it was like that like very like beautiful work where you were like, it like is like gorgeous, a lot of like gore and like blood and like Roman references and like classic art shit. Like it was like very smart. It was a very smart fandom, and then it would die, and there'd be nothing, not at all like being in Kingdon fandom or any other fandom. And then when the show ended, basically everyone just like closed up their fan accounts and was like, it's been real, guys, and just stopped making art for it. And now no one talks about it anymore because the show ended well. There was
Yeah, it had a
nothing
great
to
ending.
do. It had a great ending. So like other than the people who like wrote Roman and Jerry meeting up later in life, there wasn't much else to do. It was like, well, we got what we wanted. See you later. It's been real, which was funny for me being involved in it, like writing fanfic for it. Because I also will readily admit that my favorite fanfic I've ever written got like 12 reads because it was really niche and weird, and also for a tiny fandom.
Yeah, that's how
But
things
it
always
was a
go.
good
I
time.
feel like some even fan art, it's like I'm obsessed with this piece I just made, and it's like definitely too niche for people sometimes.
Yep, yep. Do you have like anyone in specific that you like made where you were like, I really hope people that like you loved, but no one didn't get the attention it deserved?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. There was a time when I was doing a lot of Walking Dead stuff, and the Walking Dead fandom is very small at this point because the ending of the
Yeah.
show was just kind of a flop.
Mm,
They dragged it out for so long, and I
yeah.
got weirdly back into the Walking Dead like later,
Hmm.
and you start posting fan art because that's what you do,
Yeah.
and no one knew me for anything Walking Dead related, so it was like all my
Yeah.
regular followers being like, "Why are you posting this? Like, this is weird."
What's
And
going on? What are we doing?
so everyone's
Yeah.
like, the Walking Dead part of the fandom that I'm in is pretty small, and there's not a lot of people, so
Yeah.
it
I
is
get
what it
that.
is. I'm still gonna make the art.
Yeah, that's how I was. I'm gonna, you can, it feels like my dark past, but it's all really readily available. In high school was really obsessed, obviously was like super obsessed with Succession. It's one of my biggest special interests. And I was, 17 and didn't have anything to do after school. So I just like made fan work all day. And I got really obsessed with Kendall and then his girlfriend Naomi, who's one of the Pierces. She's in like
Uh huh.
6 episodes.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with them. I had an internet best friend who we talked about it all day. And we and we would make a bunch of fan work for it, but there was only one other person who had ever written fanfic about them that
Oh,
like
that's
did
so funny.
well. So then I was like, well, I'm going to write fanfic about them. And, within like 4 fanfics, I had written the most about them out of anyone and had made all the edits. And so, like, if you look up Kendall and Naomi Succession, it's just going to be all the stuff I made when I was like 16.
Oh, that's so
And
funny.
it's funny to look back on because I'm like, well, I guess this is my legacy.
Yeah, right.
This is what I've done. And then I
You're
started
like,
doing this pod and I was like, oh, I guess this will replace that of being the weird thing I made.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so interesting too to look back on stuff and be like, huh, I guess this is what I'm doing now. And it's cool too because it's also weird when like someone, like I'll have like someone with like a Succession username will like a Kingdon post and I'm like, oh, you followed me, you're still here. It's also interesting to like look back on people who like I looked up to because they had been in like the Bear fandom for longer are now like engaging in like Kingdom Nation and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's weird. The
That's
dynamic
cool
has
though.
shifted because now I'm doing the thing. This is the first fandom I was in like the ground floor on because I started watching when it originally aired, but I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
know that stuff was happening on Tumblr. I didn't realize that it had like sparked that demographic. I was just like talking on like Reddit threads with like people's moms about the
Oh,
episodes.
that's so funny. Well, yeah, when the first season I just watched it with my husband, and I was like, "This is a great show. It's really cool. I
Yeah.
really love it. I'm really excited about the second season." And I don't know, I just didn't have like the shipper goggles on at the time. And the second time when the second season came out, I was just like, I see what people are talking about now.
Yeah, yeah, because it was the Kingdom shipping started around episode 3.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I wasn't on Tumblr, so I wasn't like in the shipper's paradise, but I do remember people saying like, "Oh, Mel and Langdon are gonna get shipped, right?" Like I remember people being like, "I like their platonic dynamic. I hope people don't make it romantic." Like, and I remember at the time being like, "I'm gonna be contrarian, and I'm not gonna ship them." And then I rewatched the Terrence
Oops.
episode, and I was like, "They have to kiss right now, or I'm gonna start crying." And then here I am.
Yep.
But I've seen season 1 so many times that it feels like there's like a week of my life where I just rewatched it over and over and over and over and over again because I like couldn't I have like chronic pain so I couldn't walk. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
might as well watch The Pit. This kind of slaps. I like this show. And now we're gearing up for season 3. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
I know. I like just any little crumb. I'm begging them. Like I just need some set photos, some writers' room photos, anything.
just those cool videos they make where they're like, here's the set, and one of the ways we write is we plot out where the different characters are. Because their set's really interesting when you look at it. It's like
Yes.
weirdly has like a lot of curves, which I think is interesting, especially
Have you
because
seen
that's
the
not
like
typically how Hostiles are made.
the top-down map drawings of like the
Yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah,
set?
yeah.
It's
That
so
was like
cool.
going.
I use
Yeah,
the
yeah.
like top-down drawing all the time for like reference when I'm writing or even reference when I'm drawing. Like where are they placed? You know.
Yeah, because there's so much choreography that goes on the show and like keeping
Hmm.
them physically close. And I think that especially during the drought of season 2, we would discuss like how just literally they had to have be either interacting or seeing each other because of the way that they were placed, or
Hmm.
because Mel kept taking all his triage handoffs. So while we never got scenes of him being like, "This is this patient," he was handing all of them off to her. So he was
Yes.
still seeking her out because she gets all of his patients from triage. Which, God, that's so funny. I love the idea of him like pushing past like Whitaker or something and just be like, "Have you seen Mel? I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Right.
give her this patient." And Mel's like, "I have 8 patients," and he's like, "Well, it's your
Well, I have
fault for
another
being
one
so
for you.
perfect. I have another one for you." Uh, oh my God. And then he has his freaking girlfriend in triage. I was like, what if people start shipping them? And then I was like, no. I was really nervous about that for whatever reason.
Oh, really?
Uh,
I
yeah,
do
because they
love
have
her
really
in
good
it though. She's
chemistry.
so funny.
Yeah, I that sometimes that character gets hate because they bring her up so much, and I'm like, no, they have chemistry and they're cute. Like it's a fun dynamic. I like it.
It would have been
I
a
think.
totally different. Sometimes I think like I'm like, what if they had cast her as Abby?
Could you imagine?
That would be
Could
crazy.
could you imagine?
Right?
Speaking of which, we're gonna start getting casting announcements if Abby is brought in, which I'm being delusional. That is my like tin hat of I think they're gonna cast Abby for season 3. I think it's
I think
time.
they will too. I think they have to.
I mean, Patrick Ball went from being like he's happily married to going to doing that interview where he was talking about how Gemmel was like, well,
Hmm.
why like talking more about the marriage in interviews and bringing it up, and then when Gemmel was like, oh, for his journey, they specifically mentioned his marriage. So I think that Abby's gonna show up, or like even just like be on like a FaceTime call. I just want to know
Yeah.
what she looks like. I want to know what she looks like so bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the first season, we kind of had, Becca like just through FaceTime. So I think they could totally do
Yeah,
like that. Who knows?
we see. Well, we also could get because we saw Becca through FaceTime, and then we see her at the end of the episode because we see Mel going to pick her up,
Yeah.
and she's like one of the only characters we see actively like leave the pit and be outside of it in a different location. And I would love, 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 love if we got like I don't know, like Frank, even just like a picture of them on like his phone background would be enough for me. I could live with that because
That would be fair.
I want to know what she looks like so bad. I want to know what Tanner and Penny look like.
I think
Um,
maybe even if we don't see Abby, seeing Tanner and Penny would be cool. Like just I don't even know how, but like they
well,
show
I
up.
want her to bring them in. I
Yeah,
want her to like bring
exactly.
them in because like he like
That's
broke
the
his
dream.
arm, and then I want Mel to treat her son and for her to clock them. And I mean, that's the dream. God, I think I like feel like we need to like have like a little a la Ahmad like prediction betting pool going for season 3 of like who do we think is gonna clock Kingdon, because we had there's a lot of reason to believe we're gonna get some of it. I also just think that
Yeah.
like they are so weird about each other.
Well, I think
And
we've already
even like,
gotten like Dana clocking them a little bit, just like when Mel like decides that she wants Langdon to take care of Becca, and Dana has that little look where she's like, "Oh, okay, I see."
Dana is tired of their shit. I also I wonder how much Dana is thinking about Robbie and Collins, who
Yes.
in
Oh,
my opinion are so I feel like I say this every episode. I don't think they're gonna go canon. I have been burned too many times by prestige television straight baiting? I don't know. Dangling in front of me a man and a woman who have every reason why they should be allowed to kiss, and it would make a lot of narrative sense and it'd be really interesting and good writing. And then they don't do it because they hate me. Specifically, it's me. They hate me. It's just about me. They all have vendettas against me, a person they've never met. And
I have the problem
uh,
in everything that I ever ship. They dangle it in front of you. They give you a little bit of taste, and then one of them dies. So I'm really hoping
oh,
that doesn't happen.
just Langdon keeling over at the end of the show,
Just
just
drops
fucking
dead in
dead.
the middle of the pit.
Oh my God. Wait, that's listen, if they jump the shark enough, who knows?
Who
No,
knows?
I guess like I've had two, if I like trace back. So I shipped Ron and Hermione, and they sure are canon. And then, but that was like baby's first ship. And truly, I'm a Hermione more so now. And then,
Mhm.
I
Same.
really like Jonathan and Nancy, a woman of taste. I really like Jonathan and Nancy on Stranger Things, who were together for 3 seasons, and then they just broke them up for no reason, which was fun.
Mm,
Um, and then like all the other ships I like either date in the show and end canon and like end broken up or never went canon, other than like Jim and Pam. But even then,
yeah.
like they wanted to break them up, and
Could
the
you
fan
imagine
group
if
I
they
was a
had
part,
broken them up? Ooh,
they kept trying to break them up and they
I
would
know.
talk about it, but the fan group I was a part of, they were so vocal and involved and that the office writers knew about them, and I'm serious, they got to the point where like one of them's like met Jenna Fisher a bunch and like went to all these events and would be like, "Hey, don't." And were really, really intense about it and would like, and the writers apparently listened to them, which is why
That's
they were supposed to
good.
break up in season 9, but it's because of like the work of some fangirls that they didn't,
Hmm.
because I mean, and can you think of a time that that has happened in a positive way ever other than that? Like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Do you watch Abbott Elementary?
Yeah, not no, but also yes. Like I've seen a couple episodes and then I like keep up with it through like TikTok and stuff. It's
Yeah.
like it's a in-law fandom, if that makes any sense. Like I know
I
about it.
saw interview with Quinta Brunson when she was like, there was a time period where her character and her character's boyfriend had like
Uh-huh.
broken up for a little bit or just kind of like were
Yeah.
on the outs. And a fan ran into her in the airport and was like, "You need to make them get back together right away." And she did. She was like, "Okay, I hear you."
Oh yeah, it's like her and like Gregory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I knew about that and I was like, "Oh, that's going to go canon." And I was really excited about
Yeah.
it. And then I also like obviously like know Quinta from the BuzzFeed days
Hmm.
and I'm obsessed with her and love her
Yeah.
and
I love her in
all of
Black Lady
them.
Sketch Show. That's such a good show.
Yes. Oh my God, Black Lady Sketch was amazing. So
Yeah.
underrated too. It's
Hmm.
so funny. She's
Yeah.
hilarious. God, I also love one of like my favorite things about being super online is there can be people who are like famous for one thing and then you look back and you're like, but they also were in BuzzFeed videos or like
Hmm.
did this stupid thing or like I love Jane Nicholson and she like was like really famous in the My Little Pony fandom and then also now she's like the Star Wars YouTuber. So I think that's
Yep.
funny. Um oh my God, that freaking video. Um yeah, we were talking about Kingdom. We were talking about Abby Langdon. I need to meet Tanner and Penny so bad. Paige Purple Butterfly Glasses and I talk a lot about how we think Tanner is like really chill, and then Penny is just Frank's daughter, and she's a nightmare. And she's just like running in circles full force. And I would also like love to see him dad out because I think that he seems like a
Yes.
good dad, just and a very bad husband, which to me makes him more compelling
Yeah, I
because
think a
it's
good
like
dad, bad husband is the most likely combo for him for sure.
yeah, well, it's also interesting because he starts season 1 as a bad husband before he meets Mel. The Marriage is on the Rocks of him
Hmm.
like buying the dog and Dana seeming not for the first time to both Dana and Collins like give him that look of like, come on, man, and like calling him out. And that's just so interesting to me. And then at the same time, with contrast, the way he's treating Mel, you're like, oh, so you're capable of it, huh?
Exactly. That's
Wonder
interesting.
what that's about. It is, and I would love I can't imagine a world where Abby comes to the pit and they don't somehow have her seeing them melding together because even in season 2 when they were aware of the shipping and don't like it, all of their
Supposedly.
scenes are together supposedly.
Yeah.
All of
I
their scenes are together.
I
Like
have to think they're doing some kind of like subterfuge, like high level like denial to get people to like off the scent, you know? Like it seems so like deliberate the way they put them together in scenes all the time. And
it is
none of the other
yeah.
scenes are like that.
Yeah, I again coming from the Bear fandom, that's the exact same thing they did with Sid Carmi, where like in
Yeah.
my opinion, entire swaths of plot cease to make sense if there's not some romance. Even if they
Hmm.
don't wind up together, Carmi has a panic attack that's pretty like for the first minute of it is explicitly about his girlfriend, and then it's a little bit about his family, but it's mainly about his girlfriend, and he calms himself down thinking about another woman. And
Yeah.
it's like, hey, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, what are we doing here? And my but I don't know. I think I've just been in too many situations, like even recently with Stranger Things, where people were like, no, it's all one big chess piece. And I want to believe that because it really seems like that's what it is, but I just can't. My opinion, actually, and what I think is most likely, in my opinion, is that they don't know what where they're going with it. And
Yeah.
I think Noah's input on the show is going to start hurting the show in the long run because he
Yeah,
is just so.
I'm a little scared of
Uh,
him. Some of the things he says or the way he reacts to people getting more attention than him, it's very like, oof.
why are you beefing with Sean Hannity? What are
Right? The
you
thing about the
doing?
horror movie comment,
I was like that. Ugh, I
which is
don't
crazy because
pay
that movie
much.
rocked.
That movie did rock. And he's like, also like, Sean Hannity has been grinding for years. All of the actors
Yeah,
other than Noah have been grinding, trying to get their big break. And like,
it's giving
I
jealousy.
don't, it is giving jealousy. And it's like
Hmm.
really ugly. It's really embarrassing. And his pretty transparent misogyny is also awful. But
Yeah.
what's interesting is that him and John Wells seem to be on the like, this is Robbie's show
Yes.
because like a lot of the disconnect that comes from it is that the Pit season 1 is explicitly an ensemble and the Pit season 2 is Robbie's show.
Hmm.
And that disconnect sucks because people like it for it being an ensemble. And when it becomes so focused on Robbie, people like I've been seeing so much like it used to be like so much Robbie thirst. People loved Robbie, and now when they like make like edits of the Hot Doctors, Robbie's like almost never included. It's like
Yeah. Right.
Shen or Park the Shark or like I've even seen Whitaker, and with that I'm like, okay, all right, well, this is it for me.
My best friend, like real life best friend, loves the Pit. She's not like a fandom girl. She's too busy. She has
Yeah,
like kids. She's not
yeah.
involved with that at all. But she has like the weirdest crush on Whitaker. And I'm like, I cannot get behind it. And every time we talk about the Pit, she's like, oh my God, he's so cute. I'm like, okay.
Sure. I listen
Sure.
to each their own. I was trying to film like a YouTube video of like tier ranking the Pit ships just because I was like, this sounds fun. And then like my computer went crop white and it sucked. But I realized while I was doing it that I don't like Whitaker and I don't like when he's in ships because, at least for me, one of my favorite things about the Pit is that each character has a lot of really interesting backstory and lore and feel like
Hmm.
really rich, fleshed out characters. Even characters like Princess and Perla, I feel like you can so easily get to know them through just like the
Yes.
little things they say about their lives. They all feel like real people to me. And Whitaker is the one where I'm like, I get it. I get why this is some people's ish. Like, I understand, like, there's definitely some religious trauma. He seems really repressed. He's from the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
If Ethel Kane hits you in that very specific way,
Yes.
Whitaker is for you.
Definitely.
And Hucklerobbie is for you, and Huckle Rabbit's for you. And I'm just not that person. For me, it's Mel. It's Mel and Victoria and like
Hmm.
Javati who like just hit me in this like very specific way where I'm like, oh yeah, that. And also a
Yeah.
little bit Santos. I
That's
get
how I feel about
Santos.
Frank. I feel like a lot of people, like especially in the Kingdon side, are very like they're hit with the Mel feels, which I love her
Yeah.
obviously, but like I definitely identify more with Frank and his like particular brand of chaos.
Yeah, I get that. I think that my favorite thing about the Kingdom fandom is that we all kind of are like, no, I can see myself in both of these people. And I think that leads to a lot of like really beautiful work where
Hmm.
my Frank is like, I have chronic pain. The way
Yeah,
Patrick Ball plays having chronic pain is
so
so
good.
it's so shockingly accurate that I'm like,
Hmm.
how are you doing this?
It's so
Because
subtle.
obviously, yeah, the moment where he's in the break room and he goes, I guess I'm gonna have to get used to playing through the pain, and he
Hmm.
seems like really resigned to it, got me because Patrick Ball in season 2 managed to play the horrifying realization that this is forever that everyone with chronic pain has so well, and it was horrifying. I was like really called out by it. And then also he obviously plays the addiction part so well, and it's so good, and like damn, he's just so good at acting, which makes me wonder why he's playing this Kingdom scenes like that because
He knows what he's doing.
he has to know he's doing. I'm like, what? And like with stuff like Sid Carmi, I was like, oh, I think Jeremy Allen White just has a crush on Iowa Debris. But
Yeah.
someone pointed out on Twitter recently, and it really got me. Hey, uh, can't the directors just tell them to stop looking at each other like that? Has no one ever thought to be like, this is playing like a love scene, make it stop?
Yeah, you would really think that that would come up in post at least. Like, oh, maybe we should cut a little bit of the longing stare out.
Yeah, I know,
And they
just like
never do.
5 seconds of it. No, they
Yeah.
never do. Or like who in post production was like, do you know what would be really smart when Mel and Langdon are sharing these like kind of like sweet goodbyes, like this very tender moment at the end of the day and staring at each other's face and lips? We should have fireworks going off quietly in the background.
Exactly. No, someone in the production department over there is a Kingdon shipper. I'm 100%.
That's what I was saying earlier, is that there are like two people who wrote like the person who wrote the original break room scene also wrote a lot of the Becca scenes, including I Can See Why You Like Him. The way they play that is so crazy. I've never been able to justify it as anything other than like, this is acting as a crush. This is crazy.
Yeah. No, actually, we were talking about like favorite Kingdon scenes, and I think my favorite actual Kingdon scene is not them together. It's Becca and Frank together. It's like,
yeah,
they're so funny together, and it's like so obvious that she just told on Mel, basically. She's like,
yep.
Yeah, she told me she has a crush.
Becca looks at Frank. I feel like that scene when he walks in the room and she goes, "Wow, you have really nice hair, Dr. Langdon," and he gets all bashful, versus like when he gets flirted with by the girl with the tongue and he's like, "Ugh."
Ew, yeah.
That moment I was like, oh, I love how he's just like, "Thank you." And him bringing her all the juice. There's something about it where you're watching Becca realize that the person that Mel, who I imagine that they're sitting on the floor watching probably Elf and like eating ice cream, and she's like, "Well, there's this guy," and she's like talking about Frank, and she's talked a lot about him. She's like, he's really taken up real estate in her head.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's that moment when like Becca's like putting two and two together, where she's like, "Oh, I get it. I get why Mel likes you so much. Like, I understand." And then she says it, obviously, and then he comes in and he's like charming her. Becca's charmed, and it gets me because that's so not the Langdon we met in season 1, but it's definitely the Langdon we get to know in season 2. And I'm like, oh, he's so sweet to her. And like,
he's definitely an acts of service kind of guy too, I feel like.
Yeah.
So like taking care of your sister, just doing things, little things like the orange juice and the apple juice, it all adds up into like such a specific romantic trajectory that I don't understand how it could not go there. But
yeah.
I've been wrong before.
Listen, it's either going to be like X-Files where they're like, we have a baby together, but it's also platonic, or they're just at a certain point going to be like, we're writing one of them off. Fuck you guys. Or they'll go canon, which, secret, that to me is the secret third option, but I wish that was, I mean, I don't know. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong. Maybe a part of me is like, maybe if I just pretend like a watch pot never boils, if I pretend I don't want it enough, it'll happen. If I like,
oh, totally.
If I'm really like,
I'm not looking.
I'm not looking. Like, if you guys are kissing back there, like, I actually don't care. I don't care if you
guys kiss. Just don't tell me about it, okay?
Don't tell me about it. Just like do it over there. But I think that, listen, the Variety Gemmell interview with the Patrick Ball interview back to back, because normally every action has an equal reaction where someone says something really Kingdon-y and then someone comes out and is like, "It'll never happen, you idiots."
Yep.
And this is the one time where I was like, oh,
interesting.
So I think that it's a divide in the writer's room. That's my bet, is that if it's even a conversation, it's a divide in the writer's room. They know about the shippers. They have to at this point. It's so prevalent. I got an ask a while ago from like an Anon where they were like, "What do you think Patrick Ball thinks about? Do you think he doesn't think it's as prevalent as it is?" And I was like, I actually don't know, because when people stage door and the like, one thing I'm so proud of is that they have been pretty clear, like, they don't want to be asked about it. And so we don't give Patrick Ball Kingdon merch. We don't ask him about it. And if we do, we're not like people aren't putting it like on TikTok or Instagram or the like. We're keeping it really separate.
Pro not involving actors in fan stuff. So I'm big on that.
Yeah, same. I'm big on, like, I don't even want them to know we exist.
Yeah,
I want them to make the art that they
actually, yeah.
Yeah, I am big on them making the art that they want to make, and we're not involved because I don't want to spook them. I don't want to, like, it feels like a scared horse sometimes where I'm like, I actually am just going to hide in the corner. My nightmare is if anyone found out I'm like doing the podcast or like found out who I am. That's a complete nightmare to me.
My one of the like crazy things that happened from like the Star Wars fandom that I was involved in, like way early days of Raylo, I was approached by another Raylo. She was like, "We just started a podcast. It's called Sky Talkers. It's a amazing Star Wars podcast. It's all Star Wars, but the two girls are Raylos that run it." And I did all their illustrations and like their branding for the podcast, and now they're like, an official like press stop for when a new Star Wars show comes out or anything.
Damn.
They're huge. It's crazy, but I'm like, you guys are braver than me. I couldn't get like professionally too involved with like the
I
official
have
side.
I think I talked about this last week with Allison and Paige. We're just like, they're so fun to have on because we're actually all just friends and we talk all the
Mhm.
time. But it is annoying because then we record for 4 hours and I have to edit it down. But we were talking about it and I'm very online. I've been really on the internet and then I obviously like have like a career in healthcare that's pretty great. But I would love to like do like comedy and like do like more internet content like going forward more professionally.
Mhm.
And so it can be weird sometimes to think like, oh, if I ever, and like I love pop culture and entertainment and like entertainment news. So I sometimes am like, it would be really fucking crazy if like I ever like try to do that and then like Jenny Nicholson, someone's like, hey, didn't you do that Kingdon podcast? Do you remember that?
That's yeah, it's crazy to like think about that kind of thing because it happens all the time. I've seen it through Star Wars, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Skytalkers girls, a couple of other like fan people. Now they like work for E News or they work
Yep.
for whatever, and they interview all the actors on the red carpet. It's like, how did you do that? Like, are you magical? Like,
Or like Brittany Broski just like full spells like read the fanfic she wrote about him.
yes,
She did that on purpose. That was so funny. Oh my God. But I definitely am like, oh God, it'd be so weird if I ever like, managed to get to that level, which is like low key the goal. At some
yep.
point, it would be really crazy to be like, I don't know, Patrick Ball's doing like some movie. I want him in a Marvel movie so bad. He's doing like some movie, and I like wind up running into him, and I'm like, that'd be crazy to talk to them.
I'm going up to see Becky Shaw in a couple weeks,
Yeah.
and
Oh
like,
my God.
I don't even know if I want to do the stage door because I'm like, I don't trust myself, but also like I'm like I've interacted with you in a very specific way in my mind. I don't really need to
Hmm.
interact with you in real
Hmm.
life.
Yeah. It's like never meet your heroes. Like he's
Yeah.
just gonna be a guy. You know what I mean? Like he'll just be a
Yeah.
man.
And I've met
And
a
it's
lot of
it's
people I really look up to before, but it's always been in like a more like natural progression. Like I meet them in real life for some other thing,
mhm,
and I'm like, you're really cool. Like I don't subscribe to the never meet your heroes all the time because usually
mhm.
the people end up being pretty cool. And I
Yeah.
do think specifically Patrick Ball is probably a cool guy, but
Yeah, he seems really nice.
I'm like, I don't know if I could separate my fandom version of you with my real life version of you.
Yeah, that's hard because like I've definitely felt that way where I'm like I've read so many things you've said. I've like viewed so many fan art of you. I've read a lot of fanfic about you. And
Mhm.
it can be hard where like it's a fictional character. Patrick Ball is great, but like I love Frank Langdon. Frank
Exactly.
Langdon
That's
is
so
like
true.
who I care about, but he does have the body, face, and appearance of Patrick Ball. And so it can be difficult to like stand in front of what ostensibly looks like this fictional character you love
Yes.
because it's the actor who plays them, but also like understand like this is just a guy who got a job
Yes.
and now this is the life he has. But it is interesting. I am happy that they are unaware of it. I want them to be unaware of it.
Mhm.
And I'm really happy that we've kept that up of like, because they don't like Kingdon and they've been clear about that. And I think that if we were ever to want them to be open to it, we need to like respect their boundaries and like let the writers let them bring the horse to the water. And we shouldn't be doing that because if we're like harassing and rude, they're just gonna completely disengage.
Yeah, and I
Um,
don't think anyone involved that I've run into has been rude in
no, I
any way
haven't seen
about it.
anybody, which is
Everyone's very chill.
very, very, very unlike us. I think that the only like in fact, even within Kingdom, the only time I even see like joking posts being like, "Oh my God, I hate you," about like creators or writers are people who are in like wider pit fandom and not like in the Kingdom world because the Kingdom world is like a fandom within a fandom of
Yeah.
like I consider it to be like a very like cuddly kind place where we're all just really supportive and I feel like especially like the Discord group is just really wonderful and nice and like I felt comfortable enough to be like I graduated and like people care about
Yeah,
our
I
lives
always
and stuff.
find myself it's very funny when you think about like shipping wars or fandom wars or whatever I'm involved with, like the people I end up involved with in fandom, they're never part of any of that.
No,
And it
exactly.
has to lead you to
Yeah.
think like, maybe I am on the right side, like
No, it doesn't.
we're
Do you
doing
ever? I
something
sometimes like
right.
pat myself on the back and be like, "Am I the best person?" Because I just make friends and like we're not fighting.
Yeah.
I also, I also like love the fact that all of the people I know in Kingdon will be like, I mean, yeah, the other ships are great. Like even in like Kingdon specific places
Yeah.
where it is super safe to be like, I don't like that ship. They'll be like, well, I'm happy. I will see people be like, or even I will say like, I don't like this ship very much, but I'm happy for the people who like it.
Hmm.
Like, I don't ship Mentos, but I'm super happy for the people who like Mentos that we got
Go
that
for it.
karaoke scene.
Yeah.
I was like so excited for them. I was like, yay, I know how good it feels to get content for my ship, and all I want us to do is just celebrate together because it's not
Hmm.
like any of the doctors are actually going to kiss. So let's just celebrate and enjoy our
Yeah.
sandbox. It's fine. Like,
I feel like that in every
whatever.
fandom I've ever been in, it's always been like I literally do not care if you ship someone else.
Yeah,
It could be farther away from my mind, you know. Let me do what I want to do with my Barbies, and you can do what you want to do with your Barbies.
exactly. Like, we are just children in God's daycare. We're playing with our Barbies in the corner in the sandbox. Like,
Yes.
and maybe I don't want to play with you, and like, that's fine. We're not gonna beef. It's okay. Like, I have my toys and my friends, and you have your toys and your friends, and we're just
Exactly.
gonna chill on other sides of the playground. That's completely fine. And I also like, there are even things where I'm like, ooh, or even like, I also have definitely seen like, this is one of the only spheres where I haven't seen anyone be like shitty about popular fanfic, where it's like, there are people who are like, I don't want to read Rivers and Roads, so I'm not going to read it, but I'm happy people like it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's how I feel about plenty of stuff with like, especially with fanfic, where I, as a personal reader, I'm just really picky about things, but I'm
Mhm.
never going to be like, I hated this one.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you like it? Like, I don't read a lot of AUs, but oh my God, when you posted that cover for the stripper AU, that's what I've like read and seen of it looks so good. Even though that's not for me, I'm still like, oh my God, I'm so happy this exists. I
Yeah.
also just think any post about Kingdon, art about Kingdon, fic about Kingdon is a net positive
I think so too.
because
Yeah. I always think that. Like, and you know what? Even people who don't ship what I ship, I still love their art. Like, I'm
yeah,
in the days of like everything being AI and fake and crappy, like even if you're not the most talented artist in the world and you're making art for a ship that I don't like, I'm still gonna like your post and I'm still gonna be like, hell yeah, keep making art.
yeah, exactly. I think that like I do a lot of writing. Lately I've been doing way more like personal writing than fanfic writing, but fanfic writing and fanfic writers are the people who made me feel like it was okay to fail and be bad at it and then keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And if it weren't for like when I was 14 posting my horribly written Jim and Pam fanfic, the people who commented and were like, "Hey girl, I recommend this for getting better at using grammar and maybe you should have paragraph breaks." And also like but they would also be like, but I really like this line. Like, you have talent, you just need to
Yeah.
like learn, you need to practice. Or
Something
like,
you
I
learn
love when
about.
people,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, no, I was gonna say, like, I love when like people who are like clearly like 12 are posting their like
Yes.
pictures of their sketchbook, of
Yes.
their fan art. I'm like, this is the lifeblood of fan. Yes, keep doing this, keep doing this. I love it so much.
Yeah. Something from art school is like, so we did a lot of critiquing in class. Like
Hmm.
you do your work and then you hang it up and everyone goes around the room and critiques it.
Hmm.
And you learn the art of the critique sandwich or the compliment sandwich,
Yeah.
where you go, you know, you say one thing you like about it, the thing that maybe they need to work on, and then one more thing that you like about it. And I definitely apply that to like some fan works where I'm like, you know, great job, just awesome that you finished this.
Hmm.
Maybe edit it one more time. And here's
Yeah.
a line from it that I really liked, you know?
Yeah, like I think especially with like beta reading,
Yeah.
that is my philosophy, and I don't do a lot of beta reading because I'm not good at it. And I think the art of a good beta reader, oh my God, I had two of the most incredible beta readers for my like longer form Sid Carmi fic. I'm gonna plug it. Go read Daisy, R.I.P. Um, she that like I got really scared because it got popular, and I was like, oh, it's not that good. I need help. And they that collaboration is like so sacred, and that's one of my favorite things about fandom. And I feel like especially I've seen it like the most out of any space I've ever been in is Kingdon, where there's like so much collaboration and so much willingness to engage with other people's projects,
Yeah.
and
Especially
the
on our
fact
little
that
Discord that we're working on, like
yeah,
everyone will
totally,
jump at
like
the chance to beta. Everyone will jump at the chance to give you like feedback. It's really great.
and if anyone's like I'm thinking about writing this, everyone's like oh my God, please write
Do
it.
it.
um all of when you guys like when you post like for example when you were that like incredible hockey art you did that I'm obsessed with. It's so important to me. I when you were like posting the sketches of it, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited." Like I love that people can go in and like tease stuff they're working on and be like, oh,
Mhm.
"I'm going to draw this, I'm going to write this." And people get excited. Or even like with the podcast, I when I started it really didn't think I was going to get anyone to ever come on. And I think I've gotten 0 no's. I've had some people like not respond, but for the most part, everyone just like is like, yeah, sure, I want to come on. I've never done this before. Let's do it together. And I'm like, yeah.
Done a
And
couple podcasts like specifically like for my poster work mostly, like my real professional
yeah,
side of illustration.
yeah.
And it's always fun when someone like more fandom based wants to talk.
Well, I'm happy you came on because I feel like, at least to me, I like definitely like look up to you as someone who's doing stuff professionally and being creative and is just so talented. I feel like we're so lucky that you like lend your talents to us. It felt like I was like when I first found your blog, I was like, oh my God, a really, really, really talented artist is making Kingdon fan art. Let's go. Like, oh my God, these are
Oh my
so
God.
beautiful.
There's so many talented Kingdon artists, so it's crazy.
I know. Yeah, and like, oh my God, or even also like I feel like there's like different people in different spheres where I'm like, this person, I love their animatics. This person, I love their this. And there's like some people who just are like, I only draw in SFW, and I'm like, I freaking love you too. Like, let's go. I love everybody. They're all so good.
I do a healthy
And
mix of both. I would love to do more animatics though. They're so cool. I'm always jealous when I see people doing like really cool animatics.
I've done a few in my day. I made one to L to the OG from Succession, and it took me like a month and a half to do. And it's not good. Like it's not well, I don't draw. Like I feel like well, like that's my favorite thing about the Discord and the group is you can go on and people are like sending songs or like I was listening to this in the car and I was thinking about them. And I'm like, yeah, same, I get it. Like I'll listen to One Direction and be like, wow, I feel like this is so Kingdon. I'm like, no, it's not.
I feel Kingdon in this Chili's tonight.
I feel Kingdon in this Chili's tonight. God, Jim and Pam are such a King. Like but there are some things where I'm like Jim and Pam are so Kingdon. Like God, put them in a workplace. Yeah. They are. What's funny is that all of my ships, other than like I guess Johnson and Nancy, we're all like workplace romance. Where I'm like, oh, I really like when they're coworkers. I think that
she yearns
adds to
for
it.
A hot coworker.
She yearns for what? I also just like looking ahead to season 3. I yearn so much for them to. They canonized. They're not an AO3, but dear God, was season 2 like a fanfic at some points. I was like, oh, are you fucking kidding me? He's meeting Becca. Becca's outing her crush. I've read that.
Well, it's so funny because like, I didn't read any Kingdon fanfic before season 2 because I didn't even like think about them together.
Yeah.
Season 2 ended and I like dove headfirst into the fanfic. You know, went all the way back to season 1 era fanfics.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, these are like some of these people have the gift of prophecy.
They did. I mentioned this before. I started reading Kingdon fanfic, or I believe episode 5 had just aired. So I watched the show. The first 5 episodes were out. I watched all of them, and then I was like, well, I have to go see the Kingdon fanfic. And so I went on, and it was 1 page of fanfic, like on AO3, because you can like scroll through. I think there's like 176 pages now or something big like that. But at the time, there was just 1 page, and it was like Avocado Moon. This was before the author Divine Pity in a Boat had orphaned all her work, so all of her stuff was still up. And I like read like the first couple chapters of 2-Player when they were first being published, and I remember being like, wow, this is so good. Everyone's really agreed on carpooling as being the thing that we're going to do. The things that we now are like, oh, that's just what they do.
That's basically canon.
Like, it's basically canon. We're being established. So it's really cool to look back on and be like, oh, him meeting Becca, the sisters movie nights, like all of these like very just like standard run-of-the-mill Kingdon things were being started. And so it was really crazy to have read those original fics and then watch it happen in season 2 and be like, oh,
yeah,
I would bet money that they'll carpool in season 3. Yeah. And if they don't, I'm mad. How dare you?
Well, there's a classic Raylo fanfic. I can't remember the name of it right now. That came out before The Last Jedi. So like after the first one, where they had like the Force bond where they can like psychically see each other.
God. Oh my God. I hope that person like got paid. That's crazy.
I don't even know. They must have been a psychic. It was like it was almost identical to how it ended up happening in canon. I was like, damn. Ryan Johnson is reading fan fiction. It was. I mean,
listen. Listen. But it's like I feel like I need to learn her name so I can like shout her out because there's definitely a writer on the show who like wrote the back episodes and wrote the break room scene. Who I feel like I'm just like you're either tapped in or the inverse, which I love. We just understand them so well that like what will be canon we already understand because we're like, oh, yeah, so we're just thinking about them that much. I will share
that writer for sure.
Yeah. I'll share my little prophecy thing, which was that I have a fanfic I wrote for the bear called Daisy, and it has like 20,000 hits, and like at its peak had like over 100 subscribers. It was like
Hmm.
had a moment, and it was cool and it was a lot of fun to write, and I need to finish it. It's gonna get finished
Oh,
like the
it's
next
not done
month.
yet?
Not done yet. No, I took like a year off. Whoop. Very classic fanfic writer of me. But they announced the episode titles for season 5, and one of the chapters that I remember being like kind of like a fan favorite chapter is called Raspberries, and one of the episode titles is called Raspberries. And
Oh,
I was like,
funny.
that's not on purpose. They didn't like there's no connection at all. They don't even know I exist, but that's kind of crazy. And then I wound up talking
Yeah.
with like someone on Tumblr, and they were like, I had a prediction list and 4 of them came true. And I was like, yep. So either they're very predictable, we're really smart, or it's something in between, which I
Yeah.
think is probably what it is.
Before
But
season 3, we should definitely get like an official predictions list going.
we should. I mean, I remember like before Penny's name was announced, because we went through all of the post season 1 fandom
Well,
with it
that's
just
another thing
being,
it's like Millie. People were talking like a lot of
yeah,
very
Millie's
similar
the big
things
one.
to Penny. And I was
Yeah.
reading a pre-season 2 fic recently where Frank's dog's name was Penny.
Yeah. Oh, damn, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I
The
was like,
dog still doesn't have a canon name. They
no,
gotta name that dog. Because
they
I've read a bunch where I'm like, oh, I like this, I like that. I remember there was like an announcement post where it was like, it's tonight's the reveal of Frank's daughter, because like someone on Twitter spilled the beans, and they had like made like a little like fake gender reveal post. And when he said Penny, I was like, Millie, 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 Millie. And I had I remember being like, if it's Millie, they're going canon, because it's in all of the fics. But it's interesting too, because like you'll go back and you'll be like, oh, this is a fic that was written pre-season 2, because her, or even sometimes like they'll write that he has 2 sons. There's like one fanfic
yeah.
I read where he has 2 boys, and you're like, oh, okay. Or like Tanner and Penny being twins, which if that happened, God help. Or like Becca and Mel also being twins is fanon. I think people forget that they're
I
not
know
canonically
it's
twins.
totally fanon, and I don't even know if I agree with it. I for some reason I really feel in my heart that they're not twins.
I feel in my heart that they're not twins because I wrote the Niche Master Doc, and I found, and Becca's birthday would make her 27, and Mel, if she's 27 and are 3, did a lot of skipping grades
Yes.
to get there. And considering her history, because that's also like age gap Kingdon is fanon, and I think people forget that, is like
They're not that far apart.
she is, they are, if they both did med school and they took no time off and they just did the exact same trajectory, they are 1 year apart. And if they took time off, they could be like 3 to 4 years apart.
Yeah.
But also Mel probably took like at least like a year off when her mom died to deal with Becca. So like there's like a really good chance they're the same age. And like when people are like, she's 25, I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
live
I
your
really
life.
don't
I'm
think
happy
that.
for them.
And
I'm like, that's
am
not how
a
doctoring
gynecologist,
works.
always. I love a good age gap romance. But
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, in this particular sense, I don't think it's canon, but live your truth.
Live your truth, yeah. Or like, I mean, I also think that like Mel and Becca being twins, if he also had twins, I'd be like, God, poor Mel, if they ever were to have children, because they would have twins so
Oh my
hard.
God.
That poor woman. Oh God, I feel so
Absolutely.
bad for her.
Poor
Mel.
My husband's grandmother is a twin, and
Yeah.
my mom is a twin. So I'm like, if we ever have kids, I'm gonna just hope and pray
Just
twins.
pray. Just cross your fingers.
Yeah.
God, we talked about this in the Abby episode, but I feel for that woman. I cannot imagine what she is doing. And I also just like, I love the idea of her in season 3 coming into the ER with the kids, like, so like one of them like broke their arm or sprained their wrist or something, and she comes in and
fully
she's
frazzled.
like
I imagine her
fully frazzled.
like
Yeah.
hair, yoga pants,
Yeah.
bag overflowing with diapers and garbage.
Yeah. And but I also think that like Abby, one of the reasons I really want to cast her is because in my head she's like a bombshell. Like I think they met in college, and I think Frank, because Patrick Ball is like really, really handsome, obviously, but he has that type of handsomeness from, and the way he plays Frank, where he's like clearly uncomfortable with being flirted with, especially with patients, where he like can't register it, especially once he's sober. I'm like, oh, I think that he's not used to it because he didn't get hot until college, and then he immediately met his wife. And
I also
maybe
think
they like met.
The sobriety thing has a lot to do with it too, because like I
Yeah.
have some friends that are sober. They used to be like, you know, ladies' men. They like totally normal about being flirted with when you go out, and then they get sober and they're like, I don't know how to talk to anyone, let alone a woman.
Yeah, like he's so anxious and like so out of himself. And we definitely see that where like he has that, you don't he's such an asshole in season 1, and listen, we all love it. Like we can't deny it. It's very attractive.
Peak.
But it's even better in season 2 when you're like, "Oh, he's scared. He doesn't know what he's doing." And Mel coming the most insane scene of all of Kingdon, in my opinion, and that's saying a lot, because they are never normal once.
Yeah.
They meet and they're immediately weird. It's very again, I don't think they're going to go canon, but if they're not going canon, what are we doing? The fact that he walks out from the boat propeller accident and Mel's in the room and he seems stressed. She's known this man for less than a day, and she automatically can tell he's anxious, and she just starts finishing all his sentences and just like doing the procedure for him.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I'm like, how? Because I'm autistic, and I can definitely understand that, like, hyper empathy and like hyper awareness of especially people you care about or are focused on. So like Mel, in my opinion, just like has a big crush on him, and so she's really focused on him and is picking up on all those little things. And so I can totally understand her like picking up on it. But what's crazy is that Langdon just immediately falls into it and is like, "Yep." And then they don't address it. They don't talk about it. He's just like, yeah,
I
this is normal.
I think it would be interesting if they like definitely explored that more and went along the lines of like, he's so not used to people getting him and his like particular ways and, you know, affectations. And that when she does it, it's like he's surprised by it, but like doesn't fight it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think that I've said this before, but Langdon and Santos are basically the same character, and that's awesome.
Yes.
And one of my favorite aspects of the show is my beautiful canceled twins. But what they do on the show, and it's like just very typical writers, like you see this in books all the time, is that they need characters to soften them.
Yeah.
So in season 1, Langdon's an asshole and you don't really like him, and then Mel is there to soften him, to show his soft spot, to see that he has empathy and can be a good man. To quote the script, he can be good when he wants to.
It's
And
one of my
then
favorite
for-
tropes in everything that I ever like or
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Raylo. Come on.
Raylo, yeah. That's a big one.
That's a big one. That's a big getting softened by love. But my favorite thing about, and then for Santos, it's Whittaker. Whittaker's friendship softens her. And what's so crazy is that in season 2, they continue to do this, where you have Whittaker being like, admit that like she's very sad that Whittaker wants to move out. And I appreciate that they haven't backed down from the fact that Santos is so traumatized that you actually cannot reach her core.
Yeah.
And she will only show it. We see it like 3 times. I actually really like that. I think that a lot of viewers can't handle it, but I think it's very compelling and interesting. And if they do it right, it's going to be an interesting plot point.
Empathy test, you know, like
some
people can't stomach her, and I think it's like, well, she's clearly got a lot going on. Like, just give her a second. I think by season 3, I do think we're gonna get somewhere with her. And
I agree. I also
something.
They are, and I think it's so interesting too. And I think that having her and Mel be friends, her and Mel are hard because she kind of bullies Mel, and it's difficult because basically the only person who doesn't ignore Mel or thinks she's weird or walks, or even like Robbie like cares about her, and that's like a very like father figure vibe, which is why it's so awesome when Mel she's aware but not that aware of what's going on between Langdon and Robbie, her being like, it was Langdon's idea. And her like seeking him out in front of Robbie. The fact that Robbie clocks them the way he clocks Mo Abbott is not talked about enough. They parallel, Langdon and Mel are paralleled explicitly with 2 of the romantic couples on the show, the only 2 straight romantic couples on the show, repeatedly, which is so, again, if not canon, why canon shaped? Because there's that great Robbie and Colin scene where he looks at them and kind of like watches them like cross over each other in that like really like beautiful way that no one walks in real life, where they like have like that like really cinematic cross, and then he looks at Collins, and then the fact that he watches Mohan treat Abbott's wounds in that very romantic scene, and is like, huh. And then with Mel and Langdon, when they're handing each other the chart and she's smiling at him, and they're not touching, but they're just staring into each other's eyes while holding the paper. Robbie's through the door staring at them and kind of being like, and then he watches Becca and Frank interact.
Yeah. Those are my favorite moments in like the whole season, even though they're like, you know, they're not Kingdon related most of the time.
Yeah.
Like when he's like in the doorway behind Jack and Samira, I'm always just like, that's such a good shot. And then it is repeated again with Kingdon.
Yeah, it is. Like, and they're using it, they're doing it explicitly. It's like very explicit storytelling. And at least for me and the way I operate in a lot of fandom and the way I engage with a lot of media, is I like to assume that people are it's dumber than you think it is.
Yes.
Less is intentional than you think it is.
I think so.
And but there are moments like that where I'm like, well, if you didn't intentionally 10 minutes earlier, why would you do it on accident again? That doesn't make any sense. Like, you're doing cinematic language and it doesn't make any sense. Or like, and it's one of the reasons I'm so happy and have so much hope that Gemmel was like, no, Frank's marriage is bad and we're going to keep exploring it, because they telegraphed that he's divorced the exact same way they telegraphed he was addicted to drugs in season 1, with like the different, like, he almost, like, in season 1 he's treating overdoses, he's interacting with it, the little kid who takes the drugs is his first case, he's treating Louis, and then in season 2 you have him cutting the ring off the guy's finger,
Yes.
talking to the guy about the anniversary, and like bickering family members, and it's like, oh, wonder what that could be about. I wonder
why they
what's
had
going
to
on here.
specifically include that. That's very interesting.
So fascinating. Wonder what that could be about. I wonder all the time. I'm like, I think it'd be really interesting if in season 3 they're like, Langdon is treating someone who lost custody of his kids, and you're like, oh.
Yep.
Wonder what that's about. God. Oh my God. I would love
imagine
it.
If they just never explicitly say that he's divorced, they just hint at it by the cases that he's working on.
And he's not wearing his ring.
And the ring
disappears.
And then,
like, the ring disappears. I think, I said this before, and I'll say it again, my belief is that if they ever were to go canon, it would be after both of them have been written off the show, R.I.P., and it's just the Noah Wyle show and no one's watching. And then, like, 5 years from now, we're gonna get, like, a Twitter thing where it's like, hey, Noah Wyle mentioned that he's going to Mel and Langdon's wedding on the weekend. Like, Robbie's like, hey, you going to the wedding this weekend? And Dana's like, oh yeah, Mel and Langdon's, miss those kids. And then, like, that's it.
Oh, that would be too much to deal with that.
I feel like it would be, everyone would just, like, come out of retirement to explode, and then we'd be like, oh, okay, bye-bye. Because, like, it would be like when Destiel went canon, where it's like, wait, what? That was such a good day. It was the worst day. Again, never was in it, but was definitely on the periphery. The Destiel fandom makes me laugh sometimes, though, because I'm like, oh, not unlike the Kingdon fandom, our most popular fanfics are also very sad.
Yeah.
We all just like to suffer, I guess.
Yeah, I don't do this. I don't willingly engage with the really sad stuff. I'm a happy endings girl.
That's real. I feel like I spend all day at the hospital, and I get home I wake up at 3 a.m. to go to work, and I get home and I'm just so tired. Mm-hmm. And my bedtime stories, I'll be like, I just want to read some established relationship, a little bit of smut. I just want to read Mel having a bad day, and Frank's like, I'm gonna give you a foot rub, and I'm gonna make you your favorite dinner. Yep. And then it's gonna end with some smut, and I'm gonna be like, that's all I want to read. That's what I want. I just want them to be, like, tenderly in love. Like, I just want my old married couple. They're so old married couple too. They're like so.
They really are.
Do not separate.
4,000 words of fluff and 800 at the end of smut.
Exactly. That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. That's what I want, and I want it to be tied up in a little bow and handed to me, and I say thank you very much. But then, like, when I have, like, a couple days off, I'll be like, well, this very long angsty fanfic I'm not mad at. I also love, especially, like, in smut or, like, angst or, like, any fanfic where they are just, like, so desperate for each other but they can't have it. Oh, it's so good.
I know.
Like,
well, that's what I end up always writing, because I just do, like, I'm just a slow burn girl. I love, like, a happy ending slow burn, but sometimes I catch myself and I'm like, you gotta get to the point at some point. Like, we can't just slow burn for 30 chapters. I mean, I've written it, so it gets to a point.
Yeah, I definitely, in my fanfic, I guess I write the most, is I write them, like, having, like, an original character daughter and, like, Mel Preg. Like, that's just my MO in fandom. It always has been. Mm-hmm. And I was really ashamed of it for a while, and now I'm just like, nah, that's just who I am. I, like, will write it, and I'll, like, include little lines. You're like, well, the beginning of the relationship was really sad, but now they're happy. So, like, yeah, he used to come over and smoke cigarettes on her balcony and talk about, like, rehab and be sad, and Mel would be like, I want you so bad, but now they're married, so who cares? Don't worry about it. Like, I'll, like, throw it a little and be like, hey, it used to be sad, but now it's not anymore. Promise. Yeah. Like, alluding to, like, a really intense slow burn romance. I did that with Sid Carmi, too, where I was like, they're together. Leave me alone. I don't want to write this. I don't want to write them being sad. Yeah. I read them being sad, but I do love...
I like writing them getting together. That's always my favorite. It's always, like, even if it's not a slow burn, it usually is, but I'm like, I want to write the ascending action, That's my favorite part.
the moment when they realize, like, after all of this time, because I think that we also, as a fandom, you can fill in the blanks. We're
Yeah.
pretty familiar with what's been going on. We can kind of just
Exactly.
be like, well, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of lingering glances. I also love a secret relationship, but deep down, I just want to read fanfics where it's like Garcia making fun of them. I love the ones where they like call each other pet names on accident, or like she like there's a great one by Coffee Always Helps where she like keeps falling onto his lap and people are like, should we give you a moment? And they're like, we're platonic, we swear. I don't know. That makes me laugh every time because it feels like when the characters are being like, no, we're just friends. I swear we're just friends. When they're both in love with each other.
Yeah.
It almost feels like this like weird like cosmic poking fun at whatever the hell Taylor and Patrick are saying about the characters.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
Taylor Jordan being like, no, Kingdon could never be canon. Okay, what are Mel's favorite movies? When Harry Met Sally, Tangled. And you're like, okay, well,
Oh, interesting.
she's just like naming like all the big Kingdon Cathedral movies, and we're just like, all right, thanks. Okay, we're kind of at time. Do we have anything we want to talk about before say goodbye? This has been
I
so
don't know.
fun.
Did you have any more questions?
No, I blew through them, and I was nervous, and then we just got on a roll, which was good because I was out of questions. I am just gonna plug you. Everyone, go follow her immediately. And are your commissions still open?
Yeah, and they're pretty much indefinitely open. I'm always taking commissions.
Okay, go commission her if you can. I can't, but I'm living through everyone vicariously through me who can, and I love them so much.
It's
and
so fun to work on too because it's like most of them have been people from our Discord, so it's always just like I'm already excited to read their work, and they're like giving me like little free snippets where I'm like,
yes,
oh yeah,
it's so collaborative. I love it. And then I love when you send them to, in the art drop is like my favorite little section. Every time I click on it, it feels like getting a treat, and I like click on it, I'm like, yes, because even if it's like a rough sketch, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited. And then yeah, it's very sweet. Yeah, go follow her, go commission, go read your fic. I really like your fic. One of your fics,
Thank you.
the one where she's pregnant, I've read like 6 times. So
oh, that's such a funny one because I wrote it in like a haze where I was just like, I think it must have been like 3 a.m. and I just like banged it out in one session and like posted without rereading it.
Yep, there's a Succession fanfic I wrote called "In the Dark He Will Prevail." Don't go read it; it's not good. But I wrote it in a haze, did not proofread it, posted it, and then it like did well, and I was like, oh no, that was not the point. This was just for me. This is self-indulgence. I would like to say a very heartfelt thank you to everyone who sent asks, even though I did not get my shit together and asked for any for this episode. It's been a time. Thank you to everyone who listened. There was an impromptu week off taken recently, and I really appreciate everyone who stuck through. Thank you to everyone who's been leaving 5-star reviews on Spotify. Oh my god. I never asked for that, and people have been doing it, and there's like 6 of them, and I thank you so much. The people who did that, I love you forever. And thank you to everyone who keeps listening, keeps subscribing. I was talking to someone I know IRL, and I shared that I had a podcast. It's the dad of the kids I babysit for, and he was like, oh, cool. Do you have any listeners? And I was like, yeah, I average about 100 listens an episode across all platforms, like split between YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Pod. And they were like, oh my god, I've been working I like do like podcast stuff for my company, and that's crazy. And I was like, thank you. So that's not because of me, it's because of the Kingdon. So thank you to all of you who listen. I'm so lucky to be making content for this incredible community. I love you guys. And that's my little sappy thing. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on, Audrey. I was really, really excited when you said yes. I've been really excited to talk to you. This is great.
Yeah, of course. This has been so much fun.
Oh yeah. Okay. Hopefully we'll have you back on one day. I want to do like a fan artist panel episode.
That would be really fun.
I need to get everyone together. Right? Like, yeah. Oh my god, I have so many plans. I have plans I can't talk about because the haters will silence me. Like, I have so many ideas. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.